future bangers. That is the topic and focus of today's video, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Eddbud, and I'm going to be taking you through the forthcoming running shoe releases that I'm most excited about. We got some real treats for you here, where the concept shoes and technology meets retail releases for runners. I'm taking a look at the Endorphin Elite 2 from Saucony, the Adios 9 from Adidas, the very mysterious Metaspeed RW from ASICS, and also a shoe that I'm actually now quite excited about, the Nike Zoom Fly 6. Let's take a closer look into the crystal ball. Thanks for joining me, people. It is always appreciated. Do make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like too. Make sure you comment to help fight the algorithm. Dankeschön. And by the way, this video is not sponsored today by Beat and Track, fantastic independent record store in Sherborne, Dorset. Go and check it out. They got loads of great new releases and lots of pre-owned records as well. Absolutely worth a visit, or check them out online as well if you want to peruse some of their wares. I'll post a link in the description. So first shoe on today's voyage through the forthcoming releases, gotta be the Endorphin Elite 2 from Saucony. Now, one of my anticipated shoes, this one, really keen to test it out, though I do have a few questions about it. The Endorphin Elite 2 released only in a small batch via the Saucony website recently, with a few lucky folks grabbing a pair. This version seems to be a little bit lighter than the previous one, I think only by about 5 grams, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. I don't know if that really works in this instance, but you know what I mean. Maybe if you have exceptionally sensitive toes, you might be able to tell that there's a 5 gram difference. So maybe for me it's going to be around about that 220, 230 gram mark for a size 11 UK. That's not too bad. Normally they're like huge torpedoes or like boats or something. It's going to bring it in a similar sort of weight category to the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3 or even the ASICS Metaspeed Sky Paris as well. Both of those are super light. I mean, if you're not taking into account the bonkers priced Pro Evo 1 from Adidas. I'm not even thinking about that. Now the big change here is in the foam that Saucony are calling the next generation super foam. This isn't Power Run HG this time, it's a brand new stuff, a new formula. I'm not entirely sure what it is, they're not giving much away. Strangely enough, they are still selling in a similar colourway the Endorphin Elite version 1 at the same price of 280 quid. That's a lot of money, isn't it? No word on what the foam is, despite it being very, very soft, which is not exactly what I call the Power Run HG stuff in the previous iteration. That was more responsive with a bit more rebound. Saucony suggests there's a slotted plate here. I think that means that it's forked in some way, though typically that type of plate's been used in more training orientated shoes, a bit like the Deviate Nitro from Puma, kind of like a single fork there, though it could be they're just utilising the one that they used in the previous version, which is on your screen right now. I think releasing this in a very small kind of batch fulfills the Olympic requirement that it's available to all. All the manufacturers seem to have been doing that. Certainly On and Puma have both got onto that wave. They've got their models out early for the regular runners. No sign of anything at the moment from Nike or Adidas, which is very, very strange. The other major change here is the inclusion of some rubber on both sides of the heel, which is a welcome one from my perspective, as the lack of rubber on the medial side of the outsole on the original version meant that the foam wore down very quickly. So perhaps this new foam, because it's so soft, it needs a little bit of extra protection. No word on a full release yet, though I'm sure Saucony will be chomping at the bit to get this one onto the feet of runners very soon. Next shoe up is the Adios 9 from Adidas. I've been a long time supporter of the Adios lineup. I had the 6, the 7, the 8. I think I had the 5 as well a while back. It's probably still knocking around here somewhere. In the 8 though, they went back to the sort of roots of the shoe and slimmed down the midsole a little bit, utilising both the Light Strike and Light Strike Pro. Bit of a sandwich of a midsole. The Adios 9 though looks set to dump any standard foam, going in for an all-out Light Strike Pro unit underfoot, and then full rubber with a continental strip in the forefoot area on the outsole. The midsole really does look quite low stacked this time round, though I think at first glance it appears that way due to the stripes from the Adidas logo coming down a little bit and sort of overlapping onto the midsole. The shoe will obviously follow in the midsole stack height in the Adizero range, so a little bit lower than the Takumi Sen 10 which has got like 32mm of stack, perhaps sticking to the 28mm that we had in the Adios 8. I think the upper, aside from that full Lightstrike Pro midsole, is probably the most striking feature about the Adios 9. It almost looks like the one found on the Pro Evo 1 race shoe that Adidas is selling at the moment for 450 quid. I don't think that the Adios 9 is going to be anywhere near that much. I think it'll be a slightly more wallet friendly model. The current one's about £120, so I think they'll stick to around about that price range. With the improved foam and the lighter upper, I wouldn't bet against them perhaps increasing it a tiny little bit. It is going to be a good, decent track option, I reckon, with that outsole, as well as a up-tempo trainer model. Okay, next up we got the strange case of the ASICS Metaspeed RW. Now, what could RW stand for? Some people out there on the internet reckon it could be road walking, so maybe it's like a model that people utilise for the walking race. Perhaps it's a running warehouse exclusive. Who knows at this point, but it's certainly a real world model. See what I did there? Maybe it's a non-Asia reworking of the S4, an ASICS shoe that was intended as a sub-4 marathon option for regular people with different foam combinations and a plate. Could be. It's certainly got the same midsole geometry as the Metaspeed Edge Paris, though we know next to nothing else about this model aside from it appearing on the World Athletics Shoe Compliance List. It's clearly being tested by ASICS at the moment, but for what purpose? We got a simple white and black colour palette here, and there's very little else aside from the Flight Foam Turbo Plus insignia. Perhaps even the plate is more curved in this version. You can see on the silhouette of the midsole, the edges and the seams of the foam as they join together, it's very close to the ground in the forefoot area in comparison to the Edge and the Sky models. Perhaps that does point us in the direction of it being a race walking shoe to help athletes increase their cadence in that sort of event. I was starting to think perhaps it was some sort of halfway house between like a Metaspeed series shoe and like the Super Blast or something, but maybe it could be ASICS moving away from the Magic Speed model to give it like a full stack of Flight Foam Turbo Plus instead. It's all speculation right now. Keen to find out more about this one. Let me know what you think the Metaspeed RW is all about down in the comments. Okay, last up we got a shoe from Nike, the Zoom Fly 6. This one seems to have been forthcoming for like years now. A little bit more information has become available about the shoe and it's piqued my interest a little bit more than before. I don't think this one's going to appear till about October time here in the UK at least, but there are reports that the shoe is going to be 28 grams lighter than the Zoom Fly 5. That was my big bugbear with that one. It was very clunky, it was very overtly heavy for like an up-tempo shoe. It looks like we've got a top layer of Zoom X foam in the midsole, and then the bottom layer is going to be SR02. So that's the stuff that we saw in the Vomero 16. Quite like that foam actually. I think the previous version of the shoe is about 287 grams, so that means it could bring it down, in my size at least, under 300 grams, so that could be fantastic. That's a bit more on the money. The foam in that Vomero 16 was superbly soft and could be a bit of a dream combo there if we've got Zoom X on top of that. A full carbon plate too, which is a bonus, and some reasonable rubber on the outsole makes for a shoe that I'm a lot more excited to try. I just hope the rumours about the weight decrease are true, so we're getting back towards the weight that we had in the version 1 of the Zoom Fly all that time ago. I really love the Zoom Fly Flyknit, that was a fantastic shoe, but the 3, 4 and 5 have just been real stinkers. Very clunky, brick-like offerings. I know that Tim Gross is not a fan of the Zoom Flies of recent years. This could put Nike back in a good position along with something like the Endorphin Speed 4 from Saucony, or like the Boston 12 from Adidas. So which of these 4 today are you most excited about, viewers? Maybe it's one that I haven't mentioned at all. Let me know down in the comments. I've got a very calm and mellow musical interlude for you today, coming from Annie Dressner from a recent album. I thought it would be easier. This one's called Black and White. I love her vocals on this one. Really pure, really quiet, wonderful chord changes as well in this track. You can listen to the song just with the chords and the vocals and it still has the same effect. You can almost feel the hairs on your arm standing up on this one. It's a really beautiful, subtle tune. Amazing what you can do with a couple of chords, you know. Just a certain chord change really changes the mood, switches things up a little bit. What I liked about Annie Dressner's stuff was when she played the songs live on stage just with the guitar, they sounded just as good as on the album. You really got a sense for what the song was about. It was just really pure, the message was coming across without any sort of extra icing on the cake. Go and check her album out, guys. Really underrated. Not a lot of people have heard of her, but I don't know why. There's lots of people in the charts that haven't got an ounce of the talent that this lady has. Annie Dressner, with that album, I thought it would be easier. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like too. Comment to help fight the algorithm. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you